Time for the Redneck Garage. Well, today is a nasty day. It is rainy and it's cold. I'm out in the Redneck Studio, aka storage building that we just finished. There's videos on all that if you want to watch it. Making me some coffee, and we're going to get ready to go with what I'm doing today. Today is going to be a Predators game. There's a ton of people coming over, and I've got a new grill. It's called a Traeger. And if you know anything about grills, then you know what it is. But I was kind of ignorant, and I have a neighbor that sells these things. And I ended up getting one, and we won't go into details about that, but I am thrilled to have this thing, and we're going to look at cooking some ribs on this thing today in the rain, nasty weather, Predators playing. Let's get going. It's one of those slow, drizzly rain days that just go on forever, right? And now here's the backyard, and you say, what a crap hole that is, but let me show you a picture a couple days ago. Oh man, so here we go, having to stop for the rain. Dang it. So heck yeah, I have made a ton of progress. Pretty soon that tarp will be up, all that other minor stuff will be gone. I am getting a dumpster, so I'm getting very super close to having the backyard at least halfway cleaned up. Okay, there's my old Traeger Grill, man. It was a demo model, and we won't go into all the details, but these things are about 900 bucks. And I did help with the installation of doors and things like that, so I am demoing this grill. Now if you're ignorant about Traeger grills like I was, you look at this and go, oh, it looks like a grill that uses wood pellets. While that may be true, it's actually a whole different system of cooking any kind of meat. Cool thing about this is instead of having a big flame like a gas grill, it uses wood pellets, and it uses a smoke and a really precise heating control module to keep the temperature exactly correct. I didn't want to cook out in the rain, so I got my crappy old cover over it, which is keeping it pretty dry, so that's cool. All this technical stuff is cool, but what you want to see is what do the ribs look like and how do you cook these dang things? It's about a 6.5, 7 hour process. Here's the pellets we're going to be using. We're going to be using apple, which is good for pork. They also have like 7 other different flavors of pellets depending on what you're cooking. Now, I've had a pretty steep learning curve to figure out how to use this thing and all the processes and stuff, and what I figured out, it's kind of like, you know, concourse restoration cards versus a guy doing it in his garage, right? I don't really care about competitions or going to Memphis to figure out who's got the best barbecue. I just want to make some ribs that fall off the bone. They're super, super tasty and just unbelievably good to eat, right? But you got a bunch of guys that are just like these purists, just like with anything, that are like, well, you've got to do this and that's not right. So I'm doing a 3-2-1 recipe, which is 3 hours smoked, 2 hours cooked in aluminum foil with some apple juice, and then 1 hour finishing with barbecue sauce on them. That's basically it. Now, there's all kinds of different variations, but people go insane on message boards and on YouTube arguing about this kind of stuff, and I don't really care that much. If my ribs come out good, then it was a success. So let's get the ribs out and let's get a cooking. Alright, so I'm in the Redneck kitchen, and my vulnerable assistant, Ethan, who's going to be a chef one day, according to him, that's what he wants to do. He will not be a car mechanic, I can tell you that, at this point. Will you? Probably not. But he loves to cook, so he's going to be assisting me in getting these ribs ready and getting them cooked and put on the grill because we want some mouth-watering ribs. Alright, so he's going to get those, and he's going to take them over to the sink, and he's going to cut them open, and then he's going to put them over here on this tray so we can get them rubbed. I've got some rib rub, and when you talk about like arguments, what kind of rub to use would be one of those arguments that anybody could use. I'm just using this because it looked good and it tasted pretty good, so we're going to use this. I'm sure the more stuff that I do on the grill that I'll kind of determine which ones I like, but this is the first step of getting the rub on the ribs. Okay, some people like to use mustard. I'm not a big fan of mustard, so my buddy Scott, who is like the guru of all cooking, said you just spray on apple juice, and that's your binder that keeps the rub stuck to the ribs. So we're just going to spray them down with some apple juice, apple cider, sorry. And then we're going to take a rub and sprinkle generously over the riblets. And get that rub on those ribs. It's looking good. So I'll give the rub these ribs. Put a little rub on the back side. Alright, these are ready for the grill. I'm going to go ahead and get the grill cranked up, and my assistant is going to go ahead and get the other two sets of ribs ready for cooking just like these. Okay, I filled up the hopper with the apple pellets. They kind of taste like apple. No, I didn't eat it. I'm just kidding. Alright, we're going to fire it up. The beauty of the grill is that it's all pretty much automatic. We're going to put our grill over on smoke, and then we're going to turn it on. And you can see that it's 64 degrees, and you can hear the blower motor coming on. So down in the innards of the grill, there's an igniter with a little cup, and it augers chips in there. That's your temperature probe right here. It measures temperature, so it's really exact as far as that goes. So right now, we're just waiting on a little bit of smoke to come out of this thing, and we'll watch our temperature probe down there right here at 66. Once that catches fire and starts moving up, we'll be at about 130 when it's ready to put the ribs on. Uh-oh, uh-oh! See that smoke coming out of the smokestack? That means that it is lighting up and it's getting ready to have some beautiful ribs. You can see that our temperature will start coming up. It's at 68 now, 69, 70. All right, it'll quit smoking as much as far as coming out because it's actually on fire down in there. And our temperature will stabilize out at about 125, 130, somewhere in that range for the smoke. All right, it's up to temperature. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting the first two ribs on here. Oh, look at that. All right, we're gonna go get the other two. I'm gonna close her down. 3 hours later, we're gonna take a look at what it looks like. You can see that smoke just rolling over those ribs. And 4 racks is about all I can fit in here comfortably. I'll try to move them so I can get a little smoke in between, separate them just a little bit, but 3 hours of this. Okay, you're not here, so you can't smell the smoky goodness that's coming off of this grill. But it's been in about 3 hours. We're going to go ahead and pull the ribs, and we're going to get them ready for the next step, which is the 2 from the 3, 2, 1. Oh, yes. Yes. It's got all that smoky flavor built in here. I'm going to go ahead and pull them off, and then we'll see what we're going to do with them now. Oh, they look good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and crank it up to 225 while we're working on the ribs, so when we come back out, it should be ready to rock. Okay, so the ribs have been smoked for about 3 hours, and you can, oh man, you can just smell that smoke smell coming off of them. They smell freaking unbelievable. Next is going to be the step that makes them fall off the bone, super good. We're going to use honey, brown sugar, and apple cider and make our little tent, and then we're going to put them back on the grill for 2 hours at 225. So you get your honey heated up. It's real liquidy. And we're going to take our riblet. We're going to slap it on there. 4 layers. 4 layers here. And I'm going to douse it down with some honey. Just brush it all over it. And this is where the ribs will start pulling away from the bone and cooking down to the size that you want. Alright, so we got that. Then I'm going to take some brown sugar and just kind of go over the top. I like putting the honey on first because it kind of makes it stick to it. Alright. Okay, so there's the brown sugar. And then I'm going to roll her up. Then I'm going to pour a cup. Then I'm going to pour a cup of apple juice or apple cider, whichever one you want to use, up in there. Might actually use just a little bit more. But I like these ribs really super tender. If you were doing competition, that's not how you'd make them. So we're going to wrap them up so nothing can escape. Alright, and that's it. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other 3 racks, and we're going to rock on. Alright, we can see that the grill's regulated itself to about 215. It'll go up and down a little bit from there. We'll go ahead and put them on. Alright, we got them on there. We'll go ahead and close her down and cook for 2 hours. Sometimes 220, something like that. Somewhere around that area. And all this stuff is going to start bubbling up inside of the aluminum foil and creating like a tent of goodness. You can check the pellets. It really hasn't used many since we've just been smoking it for 3 hours, because it doesn't take many pellets for that, but this will use some more pellets when you start cranking it up. Alright, I just pulled this one. We're going to see what it looks like. What do you think, baby? Needs a little bit more. You see that the bone hasn't pulled back that much. So I'm going to put it back in for a little bit. Oh yeah, so those are done. And we'll be taking these out, putting them on the pan, and then putting barbecue sauce on them, and then it'll be ready to go back in for, 30 minutes to an hour to get that brown, to get the barbecue sauce to thicken up. Okay, so I got all the ribs out of the packages, out of their own juice, and now it's just finishing them off, cooking up this coating on the outside. Let me tell you, these things are freaking unbelievable. One of them is really fall off the bone, the one in the very front, and that was the one that was the furthest in the back. So when you do 4 on this grill, it's a little bit harder. You should rotate them around. Lesson learned. Holy crap, those are unbelievably good. You can see that the smoke ring, they're tender. The further back, the more they cook, so I realized that I need to probably rotate them around a little bit more. But none of them are tough. The ones that were in the very back were a little bit softer than the others, but these are more like competition ribs. They stick to the bone, but they'll pull out of there. These are really, really good. Holy crap. Here's my taste tester. 1 to 10. 11. All right. There's the ribs. All right, we're going to watch the Predators and eat. I told Randy I had some ribs ready, so we'll see if he shows up. Randy's here!
Go Preds!
Go Preds! Yeah.
Take it home.
You came over for moral support.
Yes.
Yeah. Not ribs or anything else like that.
I'm not hungry.
Oh, you got to try one. Yeah. All right.
Grandpa.
Shut up. What do you think?
Awesome.
Pretty good.
Not bad for a locksmith.
Shut up. Randy doesn't want to eat too many because he ate ribs last night.
In McMinnville, but these are better, honestly.
Yeah, they turned out really good.
They were baby back ribs.
These are baby back.
My baby back ribs. My baby back.
You want that on YouTube for the rest of? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're going down, but man, I tell you, they are tasty. All right, Predators advanced to the second round of the finals. The ribs were a huge hit. I'm gonna go sit down and probably maybe loosen up my belt and just relax for a little bit. What do you think? He loved the ribs.
Yeah,
He
ribs
did.
were awesome.
The ribs were good. I'm David from the Redneck Garage with Randy. What's the tag?
Keep eating ribs.
No, keep turning wrenches. Jeez, wow.